Hi there. Wanted to give you a quick overview of my new RCA Selectavision stereo video disc player. Now, it's not new, of course. It's actually quite old. It's about 27 years old, but it's new to me. I found it at a local record store here in St. Louis called the Record Exchange. As you can see, this is a stereo model, and on the back you'll notice the tag which says SJT-200. There's its serial number and the manufacturing date, which is March 1983. What a wonderful year that must have been. So I have this machine set up here. In the background I've got my hot wired LCD monitor that was actually part of a DVD system for a car, and I managed to figure out how to make it usable as a monitor in the house. So I'll use that for our demonstration purposes today. What I wanted to do is play a disc for you and let you see what the insides are doing. This is one of my favorite discs. It is the Disney's Best, the Fabulous 50s. And what's cool about it is it's actually in a black caddy as opposed to the typical white or blue. So let's go ahead and power the unit on, and you can see the light up in the front. The L, which means load me up, because I'm really excited to play a disc for you. Inside the player you see the turntable. That's this part right here. Alright, and you've got a like a little brake back here that actually lifts the disc or lowers the disc once you insert the disc into the player. Over here you have the servo mechanism. This actually advances the stylus arm across the record. The power transformer and some power circuitry back there in the back. These rollers here are what actually pulls the caddy in and out. And the culprit for this particular player, or the reason it didn't work, is because this belt, which is behind this panel back here, was actually melted. And I managed to replace the belt, but the belt I have isn't the exact size, so it makes the player just a tad bit on the noisy side when it's loading and unloading. But it does work, which is amazing. 27 years old and it still works. So let's load a disc in. And the way you do that, in case you've never seen one of these before, the video record is contained within this caddy. And the way you would do it is you insert the whole caddy into the player. The unit pulls it in, pushes the caddy back out, and you'll notice, voila, there is a video record that it has taken out. The unit then advances the arm forward, and as you can see up on the screen, you get picture and sound. Now I'll tell you, I think that's probably the most fascinating thing for me about this technology is that this is a video record being read with a stylus, with a needle, and it is creating a color picture and sound, as you see here. Okay, at this point, let's go ahead and turn the unit off. And I'm going to hit the reject button. You're going to reject the disc. The arm moves back. Now, as you can see, each video frame has what's called a field on the disc, and you can actually see those fields, the starts and the stops of them. Like right here, this particular stripe that you're seeing, that's called the video blanking, and you'll see it there as part of the disc, and then it kind of goes out about this far, and then there's another one. And what that is that's one frame of video going across the disc. So what I'd like to show you now is my collection of video discs. And before we do that, we'll go ahead and just take this disc out. Okay, and we're going to pull the disc out of the player. These things are really fun to collect, and if you have any kids, there's some great kids titles out there. Let me show you some of the ones that I've got. Okay, right here we've got my collection of CED discs, and because they're so heavy and take up so much room, you know, you've got to put a limit as to how many of these you collect. But these are the ones that ended up in my collection here. One thing that you'll notice about CEDs is that they're different colors of caddies. The blue normally indicates that it's a stereo disc. The white caddy normally indicates that it's a monophonic or non-stereo disc. In the later years, as RCA was wrapping up the production of these, they just kind of got lazy, and so you'll see some titles that are actually stereo titles, and they're in a white caddy. The one that I can think of is I used to have Back to the Future on CED, and it was in a white caddy. Another thing to note is that when storing CEDs, you should always store them vertically, and that means either storing them like this vertically or like this vertically. And the reason is that if you stack a whole bunch of them on top of each other, what happens is the crushing weight of the ones on top end up pushing down on the center, which of course the disc is right behind here, and it leaves abrasions on your discs. So if you're a collector and you happen to be looking at a collection and deciding whether or not to buy some of them, if the owner stored them on top of each other like this, more than likely the ones at the bottom of the stack very well could have some playback issues, at least a lot of static is what I've seen on those. So that's just a couple of things there. Let's run through these real quick. We've got The Making of Michael Jackson's Thriller. Hee hee! You'd love that one. Daryl Hall, John Oates, Rock and Soul Live. That one's pretty cool because it's stereo and it's banded for random access players, which I've never owned. The SJT or SKT-400, I believe, has that banding playback capability, which was kind of a neat thing. Let's see, we've got The Last Starfighter, The Making of Star Wars, and special effects, The Empire Strikes Back. I just watched that this week. That's a really fun title. We've got Star Wars. We've got A Charlie Brown Festival, Volume 3. The Empire Strikes Back. The Secret of Nim. Annie, which is a 2-disc set, and so there is the second disc of the set right there. Race for Your Life, Charlie Brown, which was actually, from what I've read, the very first RCA Selectavision disc that was ever produced. And I've got 2 copies of that. We've got the New Media Bible, The Gospel According to St. Luke. I've actually never watched that, but I have to watch that one sometime. Tom and Jerry Cartoon Festival. Mickey's Christmas Carol. Dumbo. Disney Cartoon Parade Volume 5. The Great Muppet Caper. Love the Muppets. Got another copy of that one. Charlotte's Web. Disney Cartoon Parade Volume 1. One of the cheesiest Walt Disney productions I've ever seen is a Disney Christmas Gift, and it's so bizarre because at the beginning they play this hokey 70s kind of music and then just show you a bunch of scenes from all kinds of Disney cartoons. Star Trek, the television series. We got The City on the Edge of Forever and Let That Be Your Last Battlefield. Now this particular disc is the RCA 1984 Video Systems. And if anybody out there has a copy of this disc and wants to sell it, or is willing to digitize a copy and put it on YouTube for all of us to see, that would be great. I bought this disc and received it crushed in the mail. Well, the caddy wasn't crushed, but the disc inside was busted. I was very disappointed. Got Alice in Wonderland. We got Tales from Muppet Land. A Charlie Brown Festival, Volume 2. We've got another Charlie Brown Festival. Terry Toons, Mighty Mouse. The Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. My other copy of Race for Your Life. The Last Unicorn, one of the most cheesy 1970s cartoons you'll ever see. The Bugs Bunny Roadrunner movie, that's a fine one. Dragon's Lair, great stereo title. And the one we used for our demo, the Disney's Best, the Fabulous 1950s. So, hope you've enjoyed this preview of my CED collection. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.